That was my fault. It was my fault.
I don't understand the show. How does the show work?
Welcome to Silence Around a Table.
Or just dinner.
Welcome to Awkward Family Dinner. What's up, you guys? The red lights aren't on either of the cameras. It's probably better that way. Make me look like an idiot. I'll get it. My name is Mike Falzone. I'm hosting Table Talk at the moment. These are my friends Ian and Sam. You figure out which one's which. We'll probably font them. Yeah, just hanging out today, talking about some things. You look like you're ready to talk.
I was really excited. I thought we'd roll with that for like at least a minute.
I didn't want to be the first one who was gonna laugh, but then I laughed and I'm sorry.
It's okay. I didn't know where we could possibly go after. I was gonna launch that and just not even care. But okay, we got a question from Chris Mitch. Best hole-in-the-wall restaurant experience.
Ooh.
Wow.
I got one instantly. How about you guys?
You go ahead.
Yeah,
take
I
it.
need a good. How long have you been here?
In LA?
Yeah.
Since like 8 months.
Oh,
9
so
months.
not long.
Not long at all.
I
What do
would
you
love
do
a good-
here? So what do you do here?
Oh, that's a
Here?
good point.
Yeah.
I do our like marketing and audience development. So like anything that's on social. I don't know. There's no hand movements for that. So anything that's like on our social or like promoting stuff, events that we do. And then when I'm not here, I run a YouTube channel called Life Noggin, which does
Nice.
animated educational videos.
I've heard
No
it.
plug.
Thank you.
I used to work at a show called YouTube Nation,
Heard of it?
and we used to promote your stuff all the time.
I remember that. Is that you that I can thank for that?
No, I talked about it for sure, but
Thank
I'm
you.
not. Anytime something real good happens,
Yeah.
no one's like, should I thank Mike Falzone for it? Because that's usually not the case.
That's usually not their first reaction.
I wanted to pitch some events that maybe we could do.
Okay.
Since you're the event guy.
Well, I'll help promote them.
How about bowling with a SourceFed crew?
Okay.
And so we pick a bowling alley.
Yep.
Just off the top of my head, we'll say, I don't know the names of any, but we'll have a bowl. And you go down there,
Yep.
and all of us are at one lane each,
Okay.
maybe across 8 lanes. And you have to pick the one that you like the most.
Okay.
And also, we don't let anybody else in.
Right. So we rent out the whole place.
Rent out the whole place.
I like this
and
idea.
then one
I don't
fan,
hate this idea,
one
actually.
fan comes.
Oh, one fan.
And all of us are
Oh,
dressed
I
to the
see.
nines.
Yeah.
At our own lanes. We
And-
got shoes, we got matching, let me finish. We got matching outfits, we got the shoes, we're all dressed like Jesus from, what's his name? What's the fucking...
Big Lebowski?
Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're
Okay.
all dressed in different colors of that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the one fan comes in.
This
Well,
is
you said
dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
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 That's the only guy dressed to the nines in the whole movie.
Okay.
And then, they got to pick their one person who they get to spend the rest of the day
That
with.
one person has
Yeah.
the pressure to go to only one lane and stay there the whole day.
Yeah.
Wow. And then the other people just bowl alone.
Well, they could, or
Yeah.
they could just watch, but they're not allowed to leave.
I think we do it.
Okay.
If you want to be that one fan, tweet #Table Talk.
In the comments below,
Yeah.
tweet.
Tweet in the comments below.
Make sure you copy and paste your tweet to the comments below.
I just want all links down there.
yeah.
I would like a whale watching tour. I've never been, and it sounds really boring.
I don't-
And if we could fill up a whole boat full of people that watch our stuff,
Yeah.
just to watch some big fish swimming around in the... It's like $90 to go whale watching, isn't
Really?
it? It's
My
too
fear
expensive.
is, what if the boat like sinks and then we lose all of SourceFed?
Oh, true.
Yeah. We'll leave one person behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who gets left behind?
Lieberman.
Lieberman? Because he's the most informative. of
Yes.
everyone.
Yes. And he hates fish.
Yeah. Not a big fish person.
Hole-in-the-wall restaurant experience.
right.
Best hole-in-the-wall
I had
restaurant
one more
experience.
whale watching question, but that's all
Go
right.
ahead.
Oh.
What's the percentage that you're going to see a whale when you pay $90 to go?
There's like over 50%.
You see a whale most of the time?
Most of the time.
But it's
you're
like
gonna see
3
a whale.
whales in 5 minutes, and then you get sick.
How
And that's
long is
it.
the tour?
Like hours.
It's
Like 3 hours.
You're out there with ponchos on with all those families just waiting for those whales to swim by and swim away, I guess. I don't really know. I've never been. But wouldn't that be a boring experience to put everybody through? Like a mandatory work trip to go whale watching?
I think everyone really, and this is too broad of a brush to paint with for sure.
I love those kind of brushes. Go ahead.
I think everyone probably really enjoys their first whale watching tour. I think second or third one, you're like, shh, I could have been doing anything else. Getting good at Overwatch.
You wouldn't let me bring my work on this trip, so I gotta just stay here.
We said no phones!
I can't even
take a goddamn picture of the damn fish, and you're not.
We were trying to find somewhere to shoot at like Comic-Con this year for Table Talk, and everything's like booked now. And my suggestion was we do it on a boat. We like rent a boat and do Table Talk.
That
on a
was
boat.
you? Because I heard whispers.
Yeah. No one was on board to rent a really expensive boat.
No one
Even
was
though-
on
wait,
board.
really
On
expensive?
board.
Right?
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Could
I'm
you
sorry.
imagine?
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
I'd be so down to
I
go
would
on a
do it.
boat.
Give me me and Sam have to wear vests the whole time.
Yeah.
And
We'll
scuba
do it.
suits.
The only people.
Can we wear scuba suits?
Yeah. I would like to really interview the musicians and the comedians on the tour ships. Because they are in a world of their own.
Like when you go on a cruise and there's like a magician there
Yeah,
for
what
some
I
reason.
cruise. I said tour ship.
ships.
but
I
I don't know what a
that
tour
meant.
ship is. Tour ship is yeah. No, never mind. I'm gonna save everybody.
I went on a I went on a cruise once and I went to the comedian thing and like it was funny for like the first 10 minutes and then he got way more drunk and it became not fun anymore, but it was a
Well, he
room full
has
of
to.
family. Yeah, you have to, right? 'Cause
You're
it's
doing that for like 12 months.
yeah, it's the same set probably every single time you go out.
And from what I've heard, I have no experience, but from what I've heard, you have to be a very specific type of like ultra squeaky clean comedian, and they have like a hand in all your jokes. Try to mention chicken fingers in this one. And how they're
We're trying to
available.
push the chicken fingers this
Right,
week. Yeah.
they're the same.
They're going bad, and we need to push them.
Hole in the wall restaurant
Yeah.
experience.
Sorry. No
I'm
hole in the wall
sorry.
should have chicken fingers. That's one thing. But
Yeah.
I love chicken tenders, not a chicken fingy guy. But hole in the wall
Wait,
experience.
hold on. What's the difference between a tender and a finger?
Maturity.
The orderers.
Not
maturity?
size, but like
The restaurant's maturity,
So-
and the person ordering.
That's the only
Can I
one.
get chicken fingies? Is that we have tenders.
Oh, you're
sir, we
57.
have tenders. Yeah.
Sir, you're 57, and you're here alone at 1 a.m. You're getting
Right.
tenders.
If you have a little kid's speech impediment, you have to order fingers. But you can't say, "Can I order the tenders?" Like you're too old. You're too old. I'll take the fingies. Have you ordered chicken fingies before?
But I should try.
Do you think if you try to order, I'm always scared to do this, but sometimes I'll see something that I want that's like on the kids menu, and it's cheaper, but I
Yeah.
feel like they'll get mad at me if I try to order it for
know,
myself
give it
in
to
the
you.
restaurant.
You
Will they
order
give
for
it
your
to me?
And the lady will have the chopped up hot dogs. With the
These
mac
are
and
all of
cheese.
my dates. We go to a hole in the wall, we order off the children's menu.
Yeah, and make sure none of the food touches. Thank you so much.
Oh, they bring out those divided plates where there's like little sections.
This is the barbecue.
Hole in the wall place.
Yeah. Whoa.
I don't know. At first I thought it was a hole in the wall, then I found out it was a chain restaurant, so that doesn't count.
I went to this one place, McDonald's. I thought was a family thing.
I went to Earl of Sandwich. Found out those are at every single Disneyland around the world. They're at every downtown Disney. But that doesn't count. I'm not gonna count it. That's gonna be my hole in the wall because they have cranberry sauce that they put on their turkey sandwiches, and it makes it delicious.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's a Thanksgiving sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
They have another name for it. I used to get a wrap in Connecticut from this place called the Chef's Table all the time. Should probably do that less. I'll be gifted less if I do this less for sure. But yeah, Thanksgiving sandwich, and there's another one for it. But that's amazing. And I'm not a big cranberry. Was it more
Dude, I
comfortable
get
when I was doing
Sorry.
this?
Sometimes when on SourceFedNERD I get really excited. I'm like, yeah, and then they just kind of loop that part over and over again.
Yeah, I
and probably
get
that
it.
part too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're gonna
That's
mash
okay.
them together now.
It's part of our lives, you
Yeah.
know? Okay, good. I have, speaking of cruise ships, I went to It's a whole wall of cruise ship. Turns out it was the mess hall. No, we went to Mexico once, and we were kind of bored of everybody else on the ship, so we just walked away. I think we were in Cabo San Lucas at the time, and we walked kind of off the beaten path, and we saw it was just a taco hut, and there were no markings whatsoever, and there was just like
On the
this-
boat?
Like there was
No.
no.
It was on the
What part of the boat?
we kept walking and walking past the shuffleboard. We were like, oh, it could be next. No, but we went, it was like one of the excursion days and everybody else is off driving quads or being equestrian. And we went to
Word of the day.
What does that look for?
Equestrian.
What does that look for? Oh, Ricky was giving us a weird look.
Yeah,
I know that.
They're
That's
off
why I
being
said it.
horses.
Everybody was off being horses, and we went and we just saw this one like little taco hut, and it was amazing. And I was real sketched out because it was like, well, there's obviously no rating for this. Like it's just very much a family-owned hut where they happen to also be selling tacos, and it was outstanding.
Really?
Tacos de pastor, which is pork. I
Those
didn't
are
know
really
that.
good.
Fish tacos, which I normally never get, and I was like, well, everything else is amazing. I'm gonna get one of those too.
Real
Knock
good?
them out the blocks. It was terrific.
I went on a cruise one time, and we went to Ensenada, Mexico, and that was where like margaritas came from, and I've never really had a margarita before. I'm like, these are gonna be amazing, and I went and had it. Bitter as hell. There's like America adds a lot of sugar to their margaritas, and they do not. It's just tequila, and it's kind of like teal colored. And I was like, there's salt in it. So like, if you have chapped lips from the cruise, you have now salt in your wounds with tequila pouring into it. Really not fun. But what is fun is the all-you-can-eat buffet. I did gain 5 pounds after a 3-day excursion, which is really cool.
When you could just grab a burger whenever.
Lots
and
of
not
them.
pay for them. All the burgers you can imagine. Like, cut to a clip of that guy on Popeye who just has thousands of burgers. Ricky, do you know his name?
I'll pay you Tuesday.
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
He just has a platter
Platter.
of burgers at all times. And that could be you.
If you go on a
have
cruise.
to find a platter for sure, but the burgers are there and just waiting.
I've
for you to
never
stack
been
them
on a
up.
cruise.
Well, they have
So
alligator.
that's
I don't
why
want
you wanted to
to
take
die on a
everybody.
boat. So
I mean, the majority of the time, that's not what happens.
yeah, but sometimes it does.
Normally,
No,
you just get
not
fat.
sometimes it's a little too much. It's like it happens like 1 in a million. That's
Yeah.
too high. I can't find. I'm not good with statistics. Never took it, so I'm not the one to ask. But I did have alligator little meatballs when I was on the cruise.
Alligator balls.
Little
Alligator
alligator
balls.
balls.
Okay, elaborate, please.
It was alligator ground up into little meatballs.
Interesting. Good or?
Oh yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
you
give
know a
me
thing
more.
or two about alligators.
Cut to a clip.
I thought you could send letters and pictures through the internet.
Do you have a good hole in the wall experience?
There was this place in San Francisco, because I lived in San Francisco before living here.
Humble brag.
Yeah, it was really expensive and I didn't like it. But there was this place that I would always like order delivery from, which was really good. And then like when I was about to move, I like Yelped it because I never Yelped it before, and I
Didn't
saw.
exist.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying. Yeah. But it was like it didn't have good ratings, and it was like looked like a little like a hole in the wall. But it was
Yeah.
really good, and I never got sick. But I'm never gonna go actually see it because then I'm gonna be really grossed out.
I get that, and I stand by it for sure. I would almost, and this is probably to each his or her own type of a situation, but I would, when I think hole in the wall, I'm like, you don't have a Yelp.
Yeah.
You're like not allowed to have a Yelp if you're a true.
You can't even have a sign.
No.
Oh, I got one.
Whoa.
I actually
Damn.
got one. It's
All
called Oi, and it's like a fusion restaurant between Korean and American, and you can get little, have like rice patties that they fold over to make little burgers, and you put like pork or chicken or steak in it, and it's really good. And then you can get like 7 of these little tiny burgers, and you can eat them. They're delicious.
I like that. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Side note, when you said
Sam.
the horror story about not being able to find your restaurant on Yelp, I have like a journal filled with bad horror movie ideas, and there's one where Will and I were watching Hulu, and an ad came up, and I'm like, how scary would it be if we're in the ad? And I'm like, horror movie. That's what it is.
It's
Whole
called
premise.
horror movie.
No, it's like that's the horror movie. That's the whole premise. You can figure out the title later, but like
Yeah.
that's the premise of that.
Is the commercial a trailer for the movie?
No. It's like the movie starts out, guys hanging out in their living room, they're having whatever, they're watching Hulu, but then an ad comes on,
And
Right.
they're in the ad.
but it's where we are right now watching TV. So
Yeah.
it's like Inception.
Good.
How spooky is that?
Very
That would
spooky.
be very
You know,
spooky.
just as
I think you
spooky.
need a B story.
Someone has to be in love with somebody else, but other than that, yeah.
I'll flesh it out and I'll come back to you, but I love coming up with bad ideas for
I
scary
want to see
movies.
this journal. You should
Yeah.
just publish the journal.
I should make a show where I read off. I try to like flesh out the story of how far I can get with these horror story ideas. There was one where someone's home alone, and then I can't remember. crazy. It's something with like the dog upstairs running around. You can hear it moving. And
Yeah.
that's the whole premise.
But he
really.
doesn't have a dog.
Yeah, basically, that's what the whole idea was.
Somebody else's dog.
But he's
is
allergic to dogs.
But he lives in an apartment building. It's totally normal for that to happen. I'll go. Ian, you want to go?
No, go.
No, you go. You're a
Okay.
guest, and I forgot to be nice.
There's a lot of options here.
Oh boy, it's a heavy bucket.
Okay. Weirdest Snapchat experience. Hashtag table talk.
I feel like if anyone would have them, it would be you.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. What's up?
You use Snapchat a lot.
Your
I do.
Snapchats are a weird experience sometimes.
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah.
general.
My favorite are I like to hype up what's ever gonna happen, and then it's just me waiting in line at In-N-Out. And it's like I film garbage on the ground there, like, and it fills up so much of people's time, and I can just watch them watching. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I wasted all your time, but it makes me
2,000,
happy.
3,000.
Weirdest. It was the first. I tried to get somebody to re-record one of the Snapchats because I thought it was so funny and send it to me on Twitter because it made me so happy. It was so simple. It was like a song that had trumpet in it, and they put one of those emojis for the trumpet in, and they played it in the Snapchat. It was the stupidest shit ever, but I went to so much work to try to get them to send me that Snapchat because I thought that was so funny, and I wanted to. It made me happy.
Yeah.
Let's
They
play a
didn't do
clip.
that.
Tiny trumpet?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's fun.
Also, someone wrote me a theme song over Snapchat, and then they put it in a show.
Do you
So that was
save
really
these
cool.
things? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they emailed it to me, and then I put it in a show.
Smart.
I get a lot of dick pics, and I don't like that.
You get a lot of dick
How
pics?
many is a lot?
Too many.
Yeah.
The number is pointless at this point.
One is a bit much. Anything over one is a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't want a dick pic, any dick pic is a lot.
Right?
I have this theory that if you send an unsolicited dick pic, you're 0 steps away from being crazy.
You're there.
Yeah, like even the doctor asks,
Yeah.
you know?
What's the plan? For real. What's
Yeah.
the plan? What's
Has
going to
anyone,
happen?
what's best case scenario?
Did they fall in love with the shape and grooming?
I have a friend who, he's never done it to me, but he says if anybody ever sends him food on Snapchat, he'll reply with his dick.
Why
that
is
doesn't-
that, do you think?
I don't know.
Is it-
And I'm too afraid to test it out. Because
How-
I don't
need
want
to
to know.
everything about how he was when he was explaining. If I ever get another bowl of cereal, I'll tell you.
No, we were-
Say,
we
no,
were at a
I can't tell you
restaurant."
over the phone. Come over. Come on, drive over here. I want to send him my dick. Where are you going?
I think that's a bad idea.
It is
but-
a bad idea.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's telling the truth, but I'm not going to test it out.
No,
'cause
you don't
I-
want to be the guy
yeah.
sending a steak, tube steak, getting back a tube steak. What
Sorry, tube steak's funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
Those are my weird Snapchat stories.
Do you have
Mike?
a weird one?
Well, I mean, that, my friend's thing, that's pretty weird.
Right.
I don't know. All of Snapchats are kind of the same to me.
All
I
of
feel like.
they all have a
like-
certain degree of weirdness.
Yeah, or it's just like someone's driving. They're in a car for like one Snapchat.
Yeah.
No, my favorite
Yeah.
are like, it's because like mine's open to anybody, so they just send me random snippets throughout their day. So I'm like, there's no context. He didn't explain anything. It's like it's a party or they're filming someone's conversation. It's pointed towards the ground. I'm like, should
Yeah.
I be listening
You
to what this is? Like, is this bad? Or like, and then someone's like bar mitzvah. That's always fun. But then I'm like, oh, happy birthday, and they're like, it's not my birthday. I'm like, then I don't know what the point of that you sending me that.
Dude, my favorite thing is I'll always reply to people
Uh-huh.
until I stopped recently because of this. But I'm like, oh, that was so funny. But they won't remember. It'll be like a week and a half ago when they sent it. So
Yeah.
like, I don't even remember what I sent you. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Here?
you should see the SourceFed Snapchat because that's open to anybody. You can
Yeah.
add it. You can send us stuff, and it's always like
Marketing guy.
Marketing. People send us like their grandparents, like a lot of like grandparents just doing whatever,
Take them.
doing homework.
Yeah.
Just like not paying attention to anything, just like the ground. Like
Right.
it's nothing that ever pertains to SourceFed or anything. It's
Sure.
always just
well,
like
it's very rarely like useful information. I think.
yes.
There was this one dude who used to send me snaps. There were videos that were just him smiling and farting. which was always funny. Oh wait, I didn't want any of them, but they were always funny. And he did this thing.
This is
where-
Steve, right?
No, just a dude, long haired. I could picture him. I don't know what his name is, but he would just be standing there, and as he would fart, he would do the zoom in and smile every single time, and it was always the same. And I admired the consistency. You know what fucks me up about that kind of shit? If you're gonna have that much of a thing, like that's your shtick for sure.
Yeah.
I know you as the smart, the farting zoom in. Smile guy, right? If you the next day, if you send me a picture of your cat, I'm like, I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm off of you, because you had a thing.
Yeah.
You had a good thing.
You had a
going.
brand.
You had
Now
a
it's
brand.
over.
You had a voice on a app that barely makes sense. You found your place, and then you're like, my cat's cute sometimes. It's laying by my feet. No, fuck your cat.
Fuck
dude.
your cat.
Go back to smiling and farting. You had the world in your ass. Anyway, so that's all of us. Where was that? Who
Well,
launched
you
that
want
shit?
to? I launched it and I overshot.
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch. Did you launch both of them?
No, he launched one.
Hi.
Now we're here.
I'm not paying attention, man. I gotta be dead honest.
It's okay.
Speaking of farts, I got one brewing, so maybe we could be treated to something later. And something to look forward to.
Interesting. Do you want to Snapchat it?
Yeah, I will later.
Yeah.
If it doesn't sound that funny with somebody farting and no contact, it could be pitch black in their room and there's just like the light of the screen, so they're just barely lit up, and it's like, it's always funny.
No,
Try
it is.
it.
Most of my humor on Snapchat is just the zoom in function.
Well, that's all you need.
That's
really.
really
Yeah.
all I need. Don't overthink Snapchat.
I would go as far as to say pick your friends by those who know how to utilize the zoom in function. The funniest.
I do that at parties when like everybody's like having fun and doing something, and then I'll find the one person who's not having fun
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
slowly zoom in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Do you play music?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But mainly it's just like,
a
look,
lot of
everybody's
prep.
having fun. It's a lot of prep, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Steve does a lot of prep with his things. What is this? Riley Keene says, if you could have any person's voice, who would you choose? That's not how you spell choose, is it? Yeah, it is.
No. That's basically shoes.
Shoes. That was basically
Who would you
Whose
choose?
shoes would you want?
Frank Sinatra.
It's-
guys
I
can't
was gonna
say
say
that?
Michael Bublé.
I already
It's
called
kinda
dibs.
the same.
And he's Frank Sinatra's kind of the better version of Michael Bublé. Even though Michael Bublé is my boy and I love him and everything he's
I'm
ever
not
done.
taking any offense to what you just
Yeah.
said.
I just want to
That's
cover
okay.
my bases. Always cover your bases.
All right. Do you have one?
I feel like it's unoriginal at this point, but I would love to have Morgan Freeman's voice.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I feel
Not
like everybody says
original
that,
if you
but
still feel it.
I still feel it. I would narrate the shit out of everything.
You
I'd
get
like to
work
have-
like that.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Always.
Snapchat game would go up. It'd be great.
I have a couple, man. Gwen Stefani's voice when she used to talk during songs during early No Doubt.
Do you have an example?
I'm just a girl, but it wouldn't.
But
sound
it
like
wouldn't
me.
sound like
It
that.
would sound
Yeah.
like her. What else, man? Any Jim Henson? If you have Jim Henson's voice, do you have all the voices that he could do?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's why like
That's one.
D. Bradley Baker would be pretty good. He does like basically every voice you could ever think of, forever, on
that's
every
fun.
like cartoon. You know what? Even though it's kind of like everyone does impressions of him, Christopher Walken would be kind of a fun voice to pull out.
Just to have.
yeah, just to
Yeah.
have like perfect. Like everyone can do it pretty well, but if you can do Christopher Walken perfect,
Yeah.
But you're
That'd be
stuck with this voice forever, right? You're trading voices with them?
that sounds.
I guess.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking of voices I really like. I've always liked Bruce Willis's voice.
Bruce Willis.
Related, I've also liked Demi Moore's voice. Demi Moore is the sexiest voice of any woman who's ever existed, except
that
for
would work.
Zoya. And also Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn's got a good voice.
Steve Zahn has a great voice.
Man, I miss Steve Zahn being
Right?
in movies. I loved him, and like
Steve Zahn, we know you watch. Go ahead and hashtag a table talk below. How you doing?
Post a link.
Just tell us how you are. Catch us up.
We're worried.
he's gonna be in the next Planet of the Apes. I looked at his IMDb like one day. I was like, what's he up to? And then like
Oh.
that
Yeah.
came up. I was like, okay, good. He's one of the apes, but I'm just like, like that's still.
He's one of the
something.
apes?
So
He's
full
one of the
makeup.
apes. Full like oh no, well he's just in those wetsuits with the dots all over him running
Nice.
around in Vancouver.
Diane Dane. You're very important to me, Diane Dane.
What was the movie with the plans? With the not the plans, the songs.
Oneaters.
The songs.
The songs?
Song wonders. The wonders.
The Oneaters.
Is
The
that what that
Wonders.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The word is out on you, Oneaters. And give me the close-up. That's Onetters. 3 people will get that, and they'll enjoy it
I don't
so
know
much.
what's happening.
It was.
That
Did
Thing
you ever
You
see
Do.
that thing you do? That movie?
I didn't.
With
Oh,
Thomas
it's
Hanks.
No, I've never seen it.
Steve Zahn was in that movie. He was also in a movie where they used to like do voiceovers over nature films.
Nature. Oh yeah.
Nature Calls?
I think it's
It might
Nature
be
Calls.
called?
Yeah.
That,
And
I've heard of
all
that.
the funniest parts were in the trailer.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
It's a little disappointing.
You want to do one more, and then we'll dip into the lead.
Oops. Okay, it just all pertains to one question. Ruben Martinez, what are your sleeping arrangements? Back, stomach, side, 1 pillow or 2 or more, fully covered always, sheet, blanket, stick a leg out because it's fucking hot and you still want to be covered?
Stick a leg out.
Good question, Ruben.
I will always sleep on my left side forever and ever. I can sleep anywhere. I'm not one of those people that say that forever and think it's a fun fact. But
Yeah.
like I can sleep anywhere. Like I can sleep on concrete. You can put me in a little corner, you could shove me into that cubby right there and I'll take a
I
nap.
put you all kinds of different places.
You could, and I will take a nap, but I will always sleep on my left side. Also, I did that so much when I was a kid. My ribs are weirdly shaped now.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's not like I can tell because I can feel my body and that there's a definitive place where my body
It's like
will lay.
pushed in?
It's like, no, it's flat here
Oh.
with a definitive corner while this is rounded, like ribs. It's me, I can tell.
You might want to get that checked out.
I might need to.
Yeah.
It's relatively new.
You're not as symmetrical as you once were.
No, I'm not.
I get it. I don't like you any different.
Makes me unique.
You are. You're you. You're a fucking snowflake that sleeps on the left side. That's really interesting because I sleep on my side, and I was wondering if it's always the same side. I'm gonna keep a journal now, and I'm gonna go through it every day. Maybe a tearaway calendar. Who knows? I definitely sleep. I need to have something. How the fuck do I explain this?
What's
Okay, come
happening?
here.
Okay.
So if I sleep like this, right? And I need to have something.
Am I Zoya in this?
No, you're
Okay,
a pillow.
okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
every girl who I've ever had a long-lasting sleep-together relationship with
Yeah.
is like, why the fuck are you sleeping with a pillow?
Right.
Why don't you just sleep with me?
Yeah.
It's because I will take the pillow and I'll bend it to my will, and no one wants that to happen to their own, like a human person.
Right, right.
I was like, I'll just crush you and it'll be horrible.
Yeah.
So I usually, and I feel like if I'm not holding something, I'm just gonna collapse in on myself and I'm gonna break like this.
I gotta ask you a question.
You know what I'm saying?
Sam.
And then I'm not done still. And then I have some kind of pillow or something betwixt my legs to keep my spine happening.
Oh.
That's smart.
That
And
is
now
smart.
you, Sam.
You had to cut. You brought up
Did
cut.
you fart
No.
recently?
No.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Someone did something and I'm gonna figure
Yeah.
it out.
We're gonna figure it out by the end of this
mine's
table talk.
brewing, so but I'll let you know if anything
Sure.
does spring
Yeah.
a leak. Do you guys like cuddling for real? Like cuddling, like the idea is fun. You do it for a little bit, it's fun. But do you like falling asleep and cuddling? Because sometimes I feel like I'm in this warm, sweaty mess, and I feel like I'm trapped underneath the person because I'm usually big spoon because I'm a tall, lanky monster, and I just get my arm caught underneath them, and I can't go anywhere. And when I get overheated, what do? I move away, but then the
Yeah.
person gets mad at me.
I have that, but my
Not
arm will like fall asleep.
Saying any names?
Like, yeah, like my arm will just be like dead,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't want to move it, but it's painful, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like continues to be painful, and I don't want to ruin the moment,
Yeah.
but my arm is dead.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this, in the history of sleeping with people, I don't think I've ever fallen asleep cuddling with someone and woken up the next morning fully refreshed and happy. I don't think that's
I'm always
ever happened.
miserable the next
Yeah,
morning.
it's usually like you try to do the sneak out, the sneak arm pull out, and they're like, what the fuck? What's going on? And then, like, they're mad at you for waking them up. How do you have so many?
Did you
I
rip
ripped it up. I ripped it
Were
up.
you saving stuff?
I was ripping it up.
These don't count, man. These aren't. Whoa.
Wow.
Fucking rip the whole thing.
You had so many options.
Hey, who's my little champion man? Who's my little champion man? Do you want to fart? Would that make you feel better? I mean, don't.
I'm not gonna. Oh.
You have one of those if you'd like. Does that make you feel
That
better?
was a bad decision. I didn't like doing that.
Anybody else want one? Do you want one?
I'm good.
You don't have to have one if you don't want to. Ooh, felt how wet your lips were. Bangers. All right, you guys, we're coming towards the end of the show, so we're gonna dip into the eel covered cues. These are just some conversation starters.
You wanna get
we
that
only
one?
have
You want to
3
talk about
left.
where the Cheerios came from?
First of all, they're not Cheerios; they're Apple Jacks. You know.
I'm so sorry.
You just ate
You're
one.
so right.
Who eats one and finishes it and enjoys it? And be
It
like,
was round.
That was a tube steak. No, it wasn't a tube steak. That was an Apple Jack. There's
So
only
sorry.
3 of these left, and when they're all gone, I will disappear from the show completely. You're the guest. Would you like to put one of these?
No.
All right. Well,
Yep.
go fuck yourself over here. Say it.
Here is my time to shine. 18. Who would win in a fight between a box of animal crackers and a box of Teddy Grahams?
Oh, that's a good one.
Animal
Really
crackers.
think about this.
Is
You
this
don't
still
have to-
first date questions?
Teddy
Or is this
Grahams.
something
No.
else? No.
This
Okay.
is
Teddy Grahams. You can get more in one box, so numbers. In claws.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a great argument.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I feel like you've like variety. Maybe you'll get you could get anything. Elephants are probably the only
then they're
useful
like
thing. Giraffe's not gonna do much.
Giraffe's not going to do nothing in a fight.
But they're
Giraffe will
ambiguous.
Look out.
They're like
for
Yeah.
cops.
They're blobs of animals. They don't have any definitive limbs.
There's
They're just
lions though in animal crackers, right?
Oh, shit,
yeah.
lions
Yeah.
versus bears. Oh my.
Wait, I was thinking about circus crackers. Those are different.
Oh.
Those are the ones where
Animal
they cover-
crackers and circus crackers, same shit.
No, animal crackers come in a little animal zoo box, and they got they look
Yeah.
like crackers. But then there's circus animals where they're covered in that frosting and those little dots.
Oh yeah.
That's too much. I
That's
wasn't
Yeah,
thinking
these are
about
just
that.
plain.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
I
So
don't know
you're
any
going
other.
with Teddy Grahams, but Teddy Grahams, they all kind of look like little cubs, like baby bears, fighting grown, fully formed elephants, lions.
But if we're
And the
looking at the
giraffe.
size of the crackers,
And one giraffe.
One giraffe.
and one giraffe. But if you look at the size of the crackers next to each other, the cubs are the same size as these full-grown animals.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
They do look cuddly though. Anything
like-
they all look like snuggle.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
cut 2 of them one. Good.
but there's more numbers, so they could decimate the animal population much faster.
I do like bears
I'm not going to
better.
disagree with you.
Bear. I want to hold a baby bear,
Sure.
but everybody thinks that's a bad idea.
Dude, I
But-
was telling my father this
Yeah.
recently.
I'm so sorry.
I love talking to my dad.
Okay.
There's nothing you need to be sorry.
Okay.
I was having a
I
conversation
thought it was
with
gonna
my
be
dad.
very
It
serious.
was my favorite
Okay.
time.
Sorry,
I was
Mr.
driving in
Cousin.
upstate. He doesn't watch it. I was
Okay.
driving in upstate Connecticut, and I almost hit a younger bear, And-
Like teenage.
middle-aged
Okay.
bear, and he was going through some shit. And you hit everything but the camera. That has to be something.
I hit the cable attached to it.
That's tough.
Sorry, you sound like you had a good story.
It's not great. So I was driving and I was going at a pretty good clip, maybe 60 miles an hour. You've heard of it. And I slammed on the brakes and I went around this thing, and it wasn't like a big. It was maybe the size of this table. And the only thing I could think was like, that thing has some mass, and if I hit that, that's gonna mess my car up way more than it's gonna mess that bear up. And that's the most accurate way I could describe it. Like some things, like raccoon or something, they run out in your car, and you're like, this is not gonna be good for the poor raccoon, or the what are the blind things? You know, moles.
Moles?
Right?
Running over a lot of moles?
Not a lot. The average, I run over the average amount of moles, not on purpose. But you're like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
I don't think
and
I've
then
ever
it's
seen
gonna
a
be
mole on the road
Dude,
before.
when you encounter a real, here's my point, really. If you encounter a real wild animal,
Yeah.
that thing will fuck your shit up
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like a little furry moving apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment. It's not a great analogy, but it's the only one I had at the moment.
It's not a studio apartment. There's
It was
room
the
to
bear
live
was
and
dense.
to sleep.
I just remember thinking that he's not a grown up, and that thing is dense. And he was just looking at me like, I move out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, slow
So
down
you
a
didn't
little bit.
hit it.
I did not hit
That's
it.
good. Have you ever hit an animal with a car?
Not the smaller ones.
Okay,
I
just
have.
just the moles
And
and,
I hate it
raccoons.
every
Yeah.
single time.
I ran over a mouse recently, and that wasn't really fun.
Oh, no.
It was that night, and all of a sudden I saw him run, and then I tried to swerve, but then he jumped into the wheel, so maybe he was trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But then I almost ran over a squirrel the other day, and I swerved around it, and I'm like, that jackass. I'm like, okay, to the squirrel.
Yeah.
So I turned around and went back, and he was still there eating off the ground. I'm like, you're in the middle of a freeway. I swerved around you.
Wait, how did you go back if you were on a freeway?
I went off, came back
you
around,
did?
and did
Okay.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was an easy day. It was a Saturday.
Right.
And so I came back around, I looked, and I'm like, now I'm mad at you. So I just
Yeah.
went and honked until it ran away.
I need to ask your opinion on something. We're at 34 minutes right now, and
Yep.
I've just been reminded of a horrible story I have.
Good.
Go for it.
Oh boy, I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. When I lived in Connecticut, in Milford, Connecticut, I hit a bird. And a bird flew. It was one of those things where like 7 of them just do this real quick, but one of them didn't make it. And I hit him, and he rolled up the windshield, and he rolled down the windshield.
So he was stuck at the.
Certainly
dear.
was. He was stuck where the windshield meets the car, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is bad because he's hurt and he's still alive." So I put the windshield.
I knew it.
on.
I knew it.
And I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do or not, but I panicked. And I was like, "Me, just get off. Just get off." I was trying to think of what I would do if I was outside the car, and I would try to do this, right?
Maybe just get off.
No. So what happened was the thing went up, and then it came down, and then he was trapped underneath the thing.
Oh no.
I did it a couple more times, but it seemed to just been irritating him, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Ah, ah, ah!"
Every
and
time.
and I hated it. And I pulled into a parking lot, and I was like, "Listen, I'm so sorry. The bird didn't understand because it was a bird."
Yeah.
But I ended up, he didn't last long after that. I think I saw his last moments.
Aw.
Yeah, it
Ooh.
was one of the most traumatic experiences. Now I'm just constantly afraid that I'm going to hit a bird in flight with my Prius going maybe 17.
How'd you get it off? Did you take it off?
I touched it.
I wouldn't have done that. Like, you're better than me.
I feel like I made so many
I would have
bad
taken the other
decisions.
windshield wiper and tried to poke it off. With
I mean,
that.
I get it.
Yeah.
My old self got it.
Yeah.
But I felt like me as a person, as a grown up, made so many horrible decisions before that. I was like, I can't do wrong by this bird again.
I gotta make it up.
Yeah,
right now.
I gotta
Yeah.
touch him with my people hands. And that wasn't the last time I said that out loud. But that's a story for another time. This has been Table Talk. These are your questions. If you want them in here, respond or make a comment down below with the hashtag Table Talk, and I'll find them and I'll see them. And I'll cut them out and I'll put them in this thing. I'd like to thank our sponsor for today, and that's YouTube Red. Let me tell you a little something about YouTube Red off the top of my memory here. If you want to watch all new series and movies from your favorite creators, we're talking about just a couple off the top of my head. PewDiePie, Lily Singh, Rooster Teeth. Sign up for a free trial using the link in the description, and you could do that. You watch original shows uninterrupted, no ads, no commercials like you were talking about before with your crazy horror
You won't see
idea.
yourself in the commercials.
There's
because there
almost
aren't
no
any.
chance.
Yeah.
Unless you're a top YouTuber
That's
that
true.
you will see yourself in any of these videos, all while supporting the creators that you love. This has been Table Talk. Ian, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we
Thanks
had a great
for
time.
having me.
I had a great time.
My hands are very sweaty.
I get it.
Yep.
Cold and clammy.
Yeah.
Are you sick?
No.
Am I sick?
Now you are. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll join us next time. That thing got away
There
from
was
all
a
of
small
us.
fly.
The spirit of the bird is trapped in that small fly.
You may recall the movement that was hashtag Donald for Spider-Man, in which Donald Glover fans tweeted and
They painted it to match the set.
I thought it was the cell phone case.